まさかじいさん、そいつの色仕掛けで。
いや、これには事情が。
Hey guys, it's Ash here with WatchMojo, and these are the top 20 most censored Yu-Gi-Oh moments.
Yeah, they're about backbone too.
For this list, we'll be looking at the darker and more scandalous scenes of the original Yu-Gi-Oh anime series and how the English dub watered them down.
Hey Mojoholics! For a chance to win cash prizes, play our live daily trivia challenges every day at 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern only at WatchMojo.com/play.
Number 20. Peeping Scene. After Joey's victory over Rex Raptor, the gang decides to camp out overnight, and My Valentine joins them with some much-needed supplies. Taya ends up deciding to bathe in a mobile shower, with Mai guarding over her from the outside. When she suddenly hears a noise outside, Taya calls Mai over, leaving the shower completely unguarded. In the original Japanese version, Yugi has to hold Joey and Tristan back as they attempt to use this moment as a way for them to sneak a peek behind the curtains. Not only was Mai warning Joey to stay away from the shower in the English dub removed, but this entire creepy moment with Joey and Tristan as well.
Well, it's gone now.
Number 19, Yugi and Taya's date. Throughout the series, it becomes very clear that Taya kinda has a thing for the pharaoh. This culminates in Yugi making Yami go on a date with her, with the two going through various activities within Domino City. For some reason, 4Kids was scared by the concept of dating and decided to change it to Yugi wanting Taya to help Yami find out more about himself.
How am I gonna help the spirit figure out his past? I mean, I know a little bit about the Millennium puzzle, but I'm not sure there's anything I can tell him about it that he doesn't already know.
There are many other moments where Taya's feelings are toned down in the English dub, such as her getting jealous whenever Rebecca shows affection to Yugi. Number 18, removing the ending. In the English dub version, after saying goodbye to Atom, Joey asks Yugi to give a wrap-up speech, to which he obliges, and things suddenly fade to black.
Well, sometimes the end of one adventure is just the beginning of another. Much better.
For those of you who thought this was incredibly abrupt, it's because 4Kids decided to cut the full ending. In the Japanese version, we're treated to scenes of our heroes returning from Egypt, as well as a montage of various characters throughout the series doing their thing. Also completely removed was an epilogue with Yugi telling us that his own story is just beginning.
誰にでも物語はあり、それは光の中に完結する物語だ。そして僕の物語は始まったばかりなんだ。
Number 17, Taya climbing scene. When Tristan suspects that Pegasus cheated in his duel against Kaiba, he decides to investigate alongside Taya and Bakura. The trio decide to use a grappling hook and climb up the tower in order to get into Pegasus's room. In the original Japanese version, after being told to go first in case she falls, Taya insists that she goes last as she doesn't want them locking up her skirt.
なんで?
After a disagreement amongst the group, Tristan and Bakura remedy this problem by climbing up the tower whilst wearing blindfolds.
怖くない。とっとと登る。
これじゃもし彼女が落ちそうになっても助けられないじゃないか。
While it's obvious this was removed from the dub due to the upskirt situation, climbing up blindfolded is incredibly dangerous, and they didn't want to give kids any ideas.
Tristan, that's not the rope, that's my leg. Well, climb faster.
Number 16, Millennium Eye. After Yugi's epic duel against Pegasus, we are told about the villain's past and how everything came to be. One of the most important moments of this flashback is how he obtained the Millennium Eye. In the original Japanese version, Shari forces it right into his eye sockets in an incredibly gruesome and bloody scene. Of course, this was way too violent for kids' television, so all instances of the blood dripping down his face at this moment were digitally removed.
You have not descended into chaos and madness. You are the chosen one.
Number 15, Solomon MUTO, the pervert. The perverted older man is one of the most overused tropes in all of anime, so it's no surprise that this also applied to Yugi's grandfather, Solomon MUTO. During Kaiba's KC Grand Championship, Solomon develops a crush for the much younger duelist Vivian Wong, and expressively shows it. The English dub would modify his horny hijinks to him being excited to witness such a duel.
Yes, it's another duel. I can't get enough.
Another heavily edited scene between the two is when Solomon injures his back, and all moments of him staring lustfully towards her are removed. Number 14, Yugi's mom. Another long-running trope in anime is the hero's parents being noticeably absent, sometimes even dead. This may be surprising to some, but Yugi's mother is actually briefly shown in the series. Her first appearance is a brief cameo in the hospital alongside Solomon at the end of Duelist Kingdom.
Hey, Grandpa!
Her more notable appearance is at the beginning of episode 50, where after Yugi speaks to Atom, she asks him who exactly he was talking to. This scene was bizarrely removed entirely from the English dub for no reason whatsoever. Maybe 4Kids thought this brief appearance would have confused kids, but we think they were just going over the top here. Number 13, Bandit Keith's downfall. Earlier in the series, we are shown that Pegasus had humiliated Bandit Keith by getting a child to defeat him in a duel at the Intercontinental Championships. Episode 32 showed us the results of this embarrassment, as Bandit Keith's life had taken a turn for the worst. Everyone's favorite American duelist is shown to have fallen prey to substance abuse. He's even shown to gamble money over duel monsters. Of course, there was no way this was going to be broadcast on children's television and was thus removed.
Keith has been wading in a pool of misery ever since that defeat I handed him.
Number 12, Rare Hunter Beatdown. 4Kids were never ones to shy away from censoring violence, and this scene is a prime example of it. In episode 70, during the Battle City, MARIK'S sets up an encounter with the Rare Hunters for him and Joey. The two proceed to get beaten down in gruesome fashion, leading Joey to become unconscious. Surprising to no one, most of this scene is cut out by 4Kids. Another notable violent moment later on in the series that was removed is when Joey strikes Yami Yugi right in the face, hoping to make him come to his senses. Number 11, Dark Magician Girl. Alongside Dark Magician and the Blue Eyes White Dragon, Dark Magician Girl is one of the most iconic monsters in the Yu-Gi-Oh franchise. But she's also notorious for being one of the most censored parts of the show. Not only is her chest size drastically reduced or digitally drawn out, but it's often covered up.
Yes, of course! They're the lights of the spirits within! Let's go!
Alongside the removal of the pentagram on her outfit, there are also times where her outfit is lengthened. And in her debut episode, they even briefly added in a skirt to hide her thighs, though this censor would not be used again later down the line. Number 10, the Dark Energy Discs. YUGI'S duel with the Twisted Arcana truly was an epic showdown of Dark Magician versus Dark Magician with incredibly high stakes. However, the final fate of the loser differs between both dubs. In the original Japanese dub, whoever loses the duel would get their legs violently chopped off by a buzzsaw that slowly approaches each time they lose life points. In the American dub, however, the saws were given a blue glow and named Dark Energy Discs that send anyone they touch to the Shadow Realm.
It's a dark energy disc, Yugi, and I wouldn't get too close. One touch and your mind's banished to the Shadow Realm.
Obviously, the idea of a duelist's legs getting amputated is pretty graphic for kids' television, so it was necessary to change by 4 kids, even if both duelists were able to make it out of the duel intact. Number 9. What really happened to MARIK'S father? Both versions painted a very different picture of Marik Ishtar. The American dub shows him as a power-hungry ex-tomb keeper wanting to steal Yami's power, while the original has Marik only wanting payback for all the pain his heritage caused him, especially thanks to his own father. In the original, Marik puts an end to his dad in the most permanent and fatal way. To counter this, the English dub has Marik simply banish his father to the Shadow Realm, with no trace of the original grisly deed to be found.
Now then, Father, time to send you to the Shadow Realm. The future is mine!
Number 8. MAI'S Harpy Ladies. We all know My Valentine's true ace in the hole is her Harpy Ladies. Ferocious, beautiful, and slightly scandalous. In the original Japanese dub, as well as the actual card game, the Harpies' attires tend to be very revealing. They also occasionally don armor with questionable attributes.
Harpy Lady!
To keep things kid-friendly, the US dub and international card prints have these vicious beauties covered up in bodysuits and armor that are way less suggestive.
My samurai sushi!
Oh, cards, speak to me!
We may not enjoy it, but it's still marketed as a children's anime and card game, and not all countries are very lenient on risque material, even if there's no real harm. Number 7. MAI'S Punishment. Sometimes a little censoring is understandable in case things get too intense, such as the case for MAI'S duel against Yami Marik. Throughout the whole battle, Mai was forced to endure all kinds of torture, most of which had to be edited out in the American dub, as she slowly loses her memories of her friends and loved ones.
クジャクマイ、貴様のどこに心の弱さがあるか、俺には手に取るようにわかるんだよ。この目は人の真実を見抜くことに長けていてね。
Her ultimate outcome when she loses is depressing either way. In the English dub, she is trapped in isolation in the Shadow Realm, while her memories slowly fade away. While in the original, she's trapped inside her mind, losing her memories until she eventually perishes.
このラーのカードの上にあるのは記憶を吸い取る砂だ。全身が埋まれば、お前の記憶も全て消え、死の闇に身を沈めていくんだ。ゆっくり。
Number 6. The fate of ALISTER'S brother. All of Dance's minions have their own respective tragic backstories in the Waking the Dragons arc, each of which was censored one way or another. The one that really catches our attention is Alister, and how he and his little brother Mikey ended up caught in the middle of a war in their country. In the original, Mikey ended up in the crossfire of an exploding tank and perished almost instantly. whereas in the American version, the flashback is heavily edited and claims that Mikey was captured instead.
Help! Mikey! Where are you, pal?
An understandable change since child fatality is a big no-no for most audiences, and it's at least nice for them to try something besides using the Shadow Realm as a scapegoat for tragic events.
They took him! They got my brother!
Mikey. Soon the real Dyna Dude will show up. Don't worry, he's gonna be here soon.
Number 5, LUMIS and UMBRA'S Trap. Some of you may have figured out by now, but in the original, there was no Shadow Realm. It was actually designed for the American dub by 4Kids as a way of toning down the darker elements of the Japanese dub, especially for the more fatal aspects. For example, Yugi and Kaiba's double duel with LUMIS and Umbra on the skyscraper. In the English dub, whoever loses all their life points first would plunge into the Shadow Realm through the glass.
ライフカウンターがゼロになった瞬間にプレイヤーの足元の爆破装置が作動。足場となるガラスが破壊され、プレイヤーはビルの屋上から落下する。
In the original, the outcome is a lot more straightforward. The losers plummet through the floor and fall straight to their demise. Honestly, we're still not sure if there's a difference.
That's because the very surface on which we stand is a divider between our world and the dreaded Shadow Realm.
Number 4, Taya versus the Mugger/Predator. Taya and Yugi have been best friends ever since he saved her life, though the setup for the rescue can be told in one of two ways. In the original, Taya was blackmailed by a creepy man with a video camera, the guy obviously having some perverse intentions.
されたくなかったら俺の言う通りにするんだ。
あんたこそこんなことしてただで済むと思ってんの?
In the American adaptation, the camera is edited out, and the creep is a mugger who tricked Taya so he could rob her.
Just hand over all the money you got in your purse, lady, and nobody'll get hurt.
The reason for this change was obvious and much needed, as the situation could have ended up way worse. Either way, it leads to a happy ending where Yugi comes in to take out the trash.
Turn and face me, coward. Let's see how bold you are when someone stands up to you.
Number 3, Final or Death. You never want to mess with Ouija boards, especially one in the hands of Yami Bakura. In his duel with Yugi, he plays the Destiny board trap card that could guarantee him victory once he plays all 4 spirit message cards over time. In the Japanese version, when all 5 cards are in play, they spell out the word death, a fitting message considering Bakura's ghoulish strategy.
D-E-A-T-H です。そうだ。死の宣告デスの5文字が揃ったら、たとえ貴様にライフが残っていようとも、その瞬間貴様は抹殺されるんだ。
However, the guys at 4Kids thought death was a bit too extreme for their dub, so they had it changed to Final instead.
And the second letter is I.
Only 3 letters left!
While Final doesn't quite have the same edge, it still would have meant kittens for the King of Games had it not been for Slifer the Sky Dragon winning him the duel. Number 2, the Millennium Rod's hidden surprise. In addition to its terrifying mind-controlled powers, it turns out that MARIK'S Millennium Rod had a hidden blade in the staff's shaft.
一人ずつ俺が闇への生贄にしてやる。
You'd only know that if you watched the original dub, since all known traces of the blade were removed/edited out from the English dub. More than once in the Japanese dub, Yami Marik has snuck into the unconscious Odeon's room and draws the knife, ready to slay his other half's loyal servant for good.
ルイシド、死の闇が迎えに来たぞ。
Of course, in the American dub, the blade is edited out, and instead Yami Marik just plans to send Odeon to the Shadow Realm as usual, though the edit is more than a little obvious.
It's time to do what I should have done ages ago.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. The Finger Guns. We all knew this one was coming. It's too hokey to not mention even once. The original Japanese dub wasn't afraid to have the bad guys pull guns on other characters, but 4Kids recognized how the use of real firearms is taboo for children's programming. Their ultimate solution: edit the firearms and any instances of them shooting at anyone out of the episodes. Unfortunately, this runs the risk of making the edited scene look silly, with the bad guys pointing their fingers at someone, trying and failing to be intimidating.
Let's go, Kaiba.
On your feet.
Mr. Pegasus would like to have a few words with you.
I bet he would.
This infamously goofy edit really waters down the intensity the original anime had to offer, but it definitely makes the English dub memorable one way or another.
Get him! He jumped!
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.